Hello, and thank you for joining us today. We are here for an Odoo and AI webinar, a new business era. My name is Matthew. I am a partner recruiter on the partner account executive team. I help with bringing on new partners, telling them a little bit about Odoo, and helping them get started on their partnership journey. Today, I am with Brendan.
Hello, I'm Brendan, and I am a BSA team lead. Prior to that, I was a business systems analyst working on implementation and instructing partners and other Odoo community members for a couple years, and now I'm a manager, so I know Odoo both from the implementation side, but also the operations side of using it as a BI and operations tool on the daily.
Awesome. Yeah, and today we're going to be going over Odoo AI, how to use Odoo AI, the use cases, as well as a couple workflows going through a database showing you real case scenarios of the system in use. So let's get going.
Okay.
So a brief kind of a view here. AI is no longer the future; it's here. As we see it in everyday life, in the stock market, on every company's homepage, AI is here and it's here to stay. And with Odoo, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for people using our system to take advantage of this new wave of technology. We have some pretty interesting stats here from McKinsey. 78% of companies are already using AI in at least one business function. For every dollar invested in generative AI, different companies are seeing a $3.7 return, as well as 86% of companies will increase their AI budget in 2026. What I was surprised, though, was with 1% of companies truly have AI embedded in their workflows. And so what we're going to be talking about a little bit more today is how you can turn your company from one of the 78% that are using AI into one of the 1% that have it embedded in their workflows.
Yeah, and that difference between the 78 and the 1% is 78% are using it just as a tool, and the 1% are using it as a system in their workflow. And that's where you really start to get those exponential gains of using it just all the way throughout your workflow in every facet.
So what is Odoo AI? So the way that we see AI within Odoo is not just an application; it's a full AI layer within all of our different tools and modules. Not only will you be able to use it for kind of basic processes, helping with interactions with customers or getting help with certain interactions, it'll be able to actually look into your deep data for your demo base and see, and give you real time recommendations and feedback to your clients or your potential vendors, whatever it may be. It lives within your data.
Yeah, I mean, Odoo's strength has always been the horizontal integration across like sales, inventory, and accounting, all the apps that we have. But now you get the vertical integration of AI, meaning like AI can help execute things for you. And that's where you get the real benefit of Odoo's base plus AI's strength in being a tool for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and with our mission statement, Fabian, when he started this company, always had this mission of helping organizations grow and unleashing their potential by empowering users with the tools they love. So really just trying to make it so that everyday users are able to use the system intuitively. And I think there's another level of that too, which is making it easy for a majority of businesses out there to take advantage of these different kind of technology tools, where maybe in the past it was a little bit more difficult due to implementation costs or just software costs. Fabian really is looking to provide a tool with Odoo that anyone can use and is affordable for even smaller businesses.
Yeah, it's approachable. And because Odoo is, or the AI is everywhere within Odoo, from something super simple to a overhaul of end-to-end workflow, I think that Odoo was designed to be as simple or as robust and complex as you need it to be.
Absolutely. So we'll be going over our AI agents within Odoo. They have such a large variety of use cases, so it's kind of hard to cover all of them. But you can imagine with all the different modules that we go over, the AI can really fit and help with a majority of these different tasks. Specifically, one of the ones that we see often is the customer-facing AI agent. Brendan, do you see that pretty often with the clients you're working with?
Yes, yes. I mean, we have a lot of e-commerce and we have a lot of emphasis on our website traffic. So, this is a real time saver rather than having someone be there to respond to questions. You can have them being productive in other ways within your company.
Mhm.
So,
And it
it,
can also create real action items, right? So like say a customer comes in asking for, questions on a product and they request some sort of customer rep to reach out to them to help them answer their questions. That can create real tasks and workflows, right?
yes, 100%. And we'll be demoing some of those as we move through this webinar.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the leverage that these AI agents and the AI integration into Odoo really
Hmm.
enables us.
I guess this next slide kind of just covers a little bit more on the different tools. I mean, it's really just talking about the fact that AI agents not only help with sales, but they're going to be able to help with our inventory modules, our accounting modules, documentation modules, help desk modules. I mean, it's really across the board with Odoo.
Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll switch to a website and show it in action here. So just to get a little taste of what we're doing, we can navigate over to our website. And this is through the back end, but we can obviously access it through the front end. And as you see from the very core of Odoo, we have a chatbot here. So if you click on this, this live chat agent will pop up. And, this is like a personal assistant for anyone who searches on our website. So I can ask, like, do you have any tables? I don't even have to look at the shop page, which obviously we can browse and peruse. But, the live chat agent tells us what type of tables we have, and if I had any more information or wanted to contact
Hmm.
someone, it enables us to do that too.
Yeah. And not only will it be looking at the real data within the system, pulling from the products area, pulling these specific table products, but it's also going to be, specific. You can really mold the agent based on the prompts and what you're asking it to do within Odoo. So if you want it to respond in a different way, it can really be flexible. Have you seen different
Oh,
ways that
yeah,
that works
yeah.
out?
So like let's say I like tables, but I don't necessarily want one that Odoo has to offer. If I say like, could you connect me uh to a salesperson. Let's see if that one works. What it'll do is it will connect me to a salesperson, and if I said yes here, like you were hinting at
Hmm.
earlier, it could even create like a lead and an opportunity so that it would take my information as Abigail Peterson logged into the
Hmm.
website here, and then it would create a task for whatever salesperson it assigns to reach out to me to help close the deal on that
Yeah.
table.
And what's cool too is this really is just the first layer of what AI can do on this kind of CRM opportunity level. I mean, you can really even automate it to send a follow-up email. Is that right?
Yes, yes, you could 100% on the back end have it send out emails, create activities for your employees. So, this is just the first interface. Like this is what we were talking about in that 78% on the first slide.
Hmm.
This is a tool, but once we make it to the back end of Odoo, that's
Hmm.
where you can really superpower your workflow and just start automating it based
Hmm.
off just this one touch point.
Awesome. And this is looking more from a customer point of view that is looking to purchase, but what about from the point of view of somebody who may need to get support and looking for, somebody to reach out to them about a broken table or something like that?
Okay, yeah, of course. I mean, you could always automate. We have shop pages and stuff like that about the just general help desk or shop
Hmm.
inquiries, but we could also link it up to a help ticket here, hit ask a human, and it would already have what we call as canned answers. So,
Hmm.
you can just start getting the customer to interact with it on a roadmap that leads us to whatever output that we're looking
Essentially
for.
saving time, maybe even categorizing some of these help desk tickets, making it easier for a manager who wants to make sure that their support team is getting to the most important support tickets. It will help kind of organize that, right?
Oh yes, of course, and we use that internally a lot
Oh, that's
too.
cool.
You don't want to have everyone in one big bucket of sort through this mess
Hmm.
manually. So having it sort of tag or create specific emails or activities for specific help desk inquiries or chatbot inquiries, will save a lot of time on the back
So
end.
based on the questions it's asking, you could have some sort of tag associated with those questions and make it so the person that's most, proficient in that specific help desk ticket prioritize those tags.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Okay. Let's, I think, go back to the slideshow here and we can move on to the next section. There we go. So it also looks like we can generate and edit pages with AI. So I think we were a little presumptuous moving back from the
Let's go back
website,
to
but
the
we'll go back
website.
to the
Let's do some
website.
AI on our website.
Exactly.
Cool.
So I'm just going to leave this conversation here. A very
I thought
handy
it was
little
very
feedback.
good. I thought it was a very satisfied support.
Yeah, so now what we can do is, let's say I want to generate a page with AI. So all I need to do is I hit new here and create a page. So AI, like we said, is at every single level of Odoo. And all we have to do here is we'll title the page. Let's just say we want to do rental pages. And if I hit create here, what I can do is it looks like this one is asking for just a block. You could also enable AI on that previous screen. I don't know why that didn't pop up here, but it's at every level. So you could use it on that creation page, but all I need to do is hit slash here and I can look AI and I can say, write me a fancy tagline for my rental business. And so, we have our chatbot here. This is now our back-end facing chatbot, but it should allow us to create an editor page for our website here. Let's see. Might be loading here. We might have connectivity issues. Let's see, we'll try that again. Yeah. Intro for my website.
There we go.
Okay, there it's thinking now.
Oh.
We might have a little
delay here.
Yeah.
Well, we can also talk about some of the other use cases, in the sense of having AI write different prompts or information on your website. It can really help both on the client and the partner end, where with a client, maybe you're creating events or webinar pages and it takes a lot of time to give a real description of what that event is going to look like. Saving time in that regard, or more on the partnership side, if you're partner implementing for a client, sometimes it feels like you're spending more time writing product descriptions rather than really working on the infrastructure or the back end of an Odoo database. So it's like, not only are you saving time for the client, but you're really focusing on what matters most in an implementation rather than just creating, generic descriptions.
Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of AI, is it gives you time to leverage what your strengths are, where you can have your maximal output, while the AI can handle just the simple tasks like writing descriptions and beautifying your website or products.
Focusing on the core of the business.
Okay. So let's move on to the next slide here.
I don't think that one worked. Cool. For this one, we're talking about transcribing your meetings with our transcription application. Essentially, the idea is that when you have meetings with your colleagues, things get lost in the cracks. You may have some action items that need to be focused on, some tasks assigned to certain people, but sometimes those things get lost. With our transcription of these meetings, not only are you going to be able to get a summary, you're going to be able to get key action items, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you could even create tasks or action items directly to specific people in that meeting, so they know, hey, I was supposed to do this by this day or by this week.
Oh, exactly. I mean, people know the market, that there's all sorts of AI transcription tools, but the benefit of it being within Odoo is that you get to chain it together with the other AI features that we have to
Hmm.
automatically save you time. It transcribes the meeting, and then, like you said, you could, whatever your interest is, create activities, email people, send messages to managers, etc.
Yeah, and I can imagine it being used not only from a specific, one meeting point of view where you're looking at the results or the action items for this specific meeting, but from a managerial point of view at the end of a month or end of a quarter. Let me go through all of the different summaries that these transcripts have created and get some action items of what I may need to improve or what was the major topics of what was discussed in these last couple months.
Oh, exactly. Yes. And as a manager, I do that frequently. It helps with
Hmm.
onboarding. It helps with keeping in track. I don't need to sit down and watch every hour-long call. I can just look at the recap and then focus my efforts on the one the AI tells me may be something worth my attention.
Awesome.
So let's see here. If we go back to the database, oh,
Oops.
I think I'm scrolling while you're clicking.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. We'll go back to the back end
Hmm.
and we'll see this in action. So if I come to the AI, I can say, or if I just click AI here, I can ask it, can you give me a recap of my sales people's phone calls? And what it should do is it should give an example of what the recap of the transcriptions are,
Hmm.
as well as maybe a brief description here. You could also pair it with something like sentiment analysis
Yeah.
or, whatever your prompt desires. So
Wow.
here, it has the IDs, it has how many phone calls they made, and you
Hmm.
could extrapolate that to focus on, like, I want to see how happy the client was.
Hmm.
I want to see if the salesperson followed up afterwards. So the sky is the limit in terms of the prompt. We're just quickly working through this as we move along. But
Yeah.
whatever you as the manager or the company is looking for, you could extract that from the AI.
Wow, I can really see this being used in so many ways on the sales side. I mean, as a manager, keeping track of sales calls, what are the most common objections that these salespeople are encountering? What kind of product questions are asked the most? You can not only make sure that the calls are going well, but take data from those calls and really work on what is real data.
Oh, exactly. And just to show what it looks like on the transcription side is when you have a phone call here, Odoo tracks it and you see the
Hmm.
summary. Like, this is a baby little transcript, but let's just say across 100 calls in your
Yeah.
department, I could say look at those specific things, and that's what we were doing here with the AI chatbot. Is we didn't even look at the transcripts themselves. We just hit the magical Odoo AI button
Yeah.
and prompted it, and 30 seconds later we have an output.
So it's almost essentially like each of these modules you can go into and take advantage of the AI, but almost this Ask AI feature is across the board for all of these different modules.
Oh, exactly. Yes. Ask
Wow.
AI, you can limit it to specific ones, but I think the best is just letting it loose on your database and trying to figure out what interests you as the company or the manager
Yeah.
specifically.
And then when we were talking earlier about that 78% of using AI tools, but getting that embedded into that 1%, I mean, it's actions like this where instead of having to work, keeping track of all these different summaries, you're getting real-time updates, real-time reports on how these calls are going, without the need of having to copy and paste different transcripts into different tools. It's all automatic.
Oh, exactly. Yep.
That's awesome.
Okay. Let's see. Let's move back to the slides and see what we got next.
This is
So
kind of what we were talking about, the transcription of the sales calls, right?
yeah, the difference here is it's a little more difficult to set up like live in a demo. So we'll just have a couple screenshots as we go along through the
Okay, yeah,
slides
that's right.
here. So here we have that phone screen that we were looking at earlier.
Hmm.
So in order to set this up, you just hit on configuration and providers within that phone application. That's
Hmm.
baked into Odoo as well. You see the little icon up there. Then you just hit enable or disable. So if there's some calls where, like, the customer says, I don't want to be recorded with AI, you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to have that to be an always on or always off. You can toggle on or off.
Yeah, that's important these days.
And then once it's transcribed or once it's enabled, every VoIP call will be transcribed, which unlocks that experience that we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
later. The summary will be output after the call, and then once you have the data point of the summary, that's when you get the real leverage as the business of saying like, what part of that transcript am I looking for, and
Mm-hmm.
what brings value to my business? It's like what it might be, what the weaknesses are. It might be,
Yeah.
is this a potential new opportunity? It's almost limitless.
Mm-hmm. And not only is it going to be able to capture that data, but you can really rely on it to be true because AI is transcribing it. It's giving you an accurate, real summary. So it's not, don't want to blame any customer reps or, AEs or anything, but sometimes, maybe they fib a little bit here and there, but you can rely on this data to be true.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. People always share their opinion on the story, and two sides get two different answers. But the transcription is the transcription.
They don't lie. Okay, this is a cool one. So the HTML editor generating and editing text using AI. A lot of people these days will use the different AI tools that they have available to help them write emails or respond to a client. But a lot of the times that they're doing something like that, they're relying on not the full story. They don't have all the data points that Odoo does because that's the system that everyone's working in. So how does Odoo kind of take advantage of the data within our system to give real responses when we're looking to whether follow up with an email or a conversation?
Oh yeah, so we can go into the database to show that. But basically, anywhere there's a touch point within, if you're familiar with Odoo, like anywhere a employee can access,
Hmm.
that is where AI can be enabled, either as a regular field, but my favorite and what we were hinting at is in the chatter here too. So the
Okay, yeah.
chatter is where we send out emails, or we can also do internal pings. So
Hmm.
if they're an internal user, just in between you and me, we can send messages. And basically anywhere where we can send a message, AI already lives here. So what I can do is I can either come here and I see the Ask AI button. So what that does is it pulls up our friend again. We have our call from Gemini Furniture, and it even, I don't even have to type that here. If I wanted to answer a follow up, it already knows like I'm
Yeah,
in
it's ready to
phone,
go.
it's ready to go. And if I click that, what it'll do is it'll read that call and it'll give us a conversation about a starter, and you could tweak that however you want. You could say
Hmm.
be friendly, be brief,
Yeah.
tell her a little more about the Gemini Furniture. But this is a real time saver. Like to write a 5-minute email over the day, just
Super quick.
saves
And if you
saves.
click use this, is it gonna just send it automatically or?
Oh yeah, use this will actually just copy it to the clipboard
Oh,
or to the
perfect.
message there.
And so I can edit it there.
Exactly. So you could
Nice.
edit it. You could add like a PDF quotation or a picture of your furniture.
Hmm.
But then as this, it's as simple as hitting the purple button there, and it will send that email.
Amazing.
We can automate that process, but just for the sake of this demo right now, we
Hmm.
have the log note, which is a little better. You
Yeah.
don't want to fully,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
What about other use cases with this kind of automatic email or text generator? Would it be useful in the cases of support tickets, kind of doing an automatic response potentially or anything like that?
Oh, exactly. So internally we use this as well, but if you create a help ticket, a lot of times you get nervous about whether it was received or not, or
Hmm.
whether you sent it to the right email. So you could, if you set up your CRM opportunities, you could just set it up to say like, anytime I get a opportunity here in the new stage, AI is already baked in here,
Wow.
so I could just hit new. I could hit action, and then I could either use AI. I can use AI right here to say like, please write me an email to when I receive an email to
Just
let
let
the
them know.
customer know
Yeah, know it
we
was
we're here
received
for
and it's
you.
being acted on. Here's the ticket number, maybe something like that. Awesome. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next slide here. If you want to, the thing. Okay, we talked
We kind of
about
talked about that. Yeah.
generating emails, got a little
Yeah.
overzealous there.
Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Okay, yeah, so AI fields and automations. So we were talking about if we go to the database, we were talking about sort of one of our favorite tools about chatter, but that's just because we have a lot of engagement with the community. But for some of the back end fields, AI is literally everywhere. So you see here, we could have it just generate a specific field, or like we were hinting at earlier with the automations, you can automate this. So if I hit like create a new quotation here, I can oh, that's the wrong button there. If I hit a
New
new
opportunity.
opportunity, I can say
With a
like
potential new customer, new client, new
yeah,
industry.
construction here. So I'm just going to call this big construction. And what our friend Emilio built for us, you could use this AI tool and prompt it to
Looks like it's pulling from the contact email
the
record.
contact email.
Yeah.
So we'll just say this is Openwood here, and it's going to hint at what industry that
Wow.
the company worked for. And what this did is I created, or Emilio created, a prompt to say like, okay, based on that email, what industry does this work for? Because maybe we want to automate this even further and say like, oh, we really like those forestry or wood industries, so let's send them a special email
Yeah.
for like those industries specifically. So that's where like you can take something as simple as an email that could be fetched from the website, run it through that AI field, and then you can leverage that to sort of give special attention or make it feel super tailored, the whole end-to-end
Wow.
experience.
And then, so this would be more on looking at a company name, giving some idea of the industry, making it so that you're saving time when building out databases. So you don't need to track all the different industry names. There's so many company names out there that, sound like it may be under this kind of category, but then you find out it isn't. So this is going to be looking at real data to give you a more accurate point of view without having to do all the work, going through multiple lines in spreadsheets, filling out, industry fields. But this is almost more of a one-to-one, looking at a company name, coming up with an industry field use case for the AI fields. But what about, using it for like customer sentiment? I know that we've been talking about something like that where it can look through emails or phone calls and give you an overview of how a customer has been interacting with a client. Is that right?
Yes, you could 100% do that here. So I think that one is best navigated through this phone here. So what I could do is I could create a new field here and have it just be a regular AI field.
Wow.
And what I can do is, if I wanted to, I could say like read the don't. It's going to take a while to type out here, but you could say read the description and output a customer sentiment. So
And I think something very specific in that AI field is that it's asking you with the prompt saying, enter which field, which data point within Odoo do you want it to recognize. So it's not just saying read the specific prompt, it's really looking at the actual data point within the system.
exactly, and that's why it's like why do you use Odoo AI over like a different AI?
Yeah.
And the reason is that every single field here within the system is like
Promptable.
baked into it.
Yeah.
So you can say like take this prompt, then output it here, and then based on that output, edit this one, et cetera, et cetera. So,
So
you
cool.
can tell it to read specific fields, one field, all of them. So it's almost limitless
Yeah.
configuration.
And then you can see this from a more individual contributor point of view where, hey, I have 100 leads and I can't remember the last time I talked to them. What's the deal with this specific client? Or from a managerial point of view, let me see, I have 10, sales reps. Which of them need my most, the most support for the deals that are coming in this month? So many use cases with our AI fields and automation.
Okay, yeah. So let's move to the next slide here. Oh, yeah, we're joint clicking.
All right. The future of work is already in your ERP. I mean, this is just kind of coming over the fact that, everything we've discussed so far, AI is part of so many different businesses. it has so many use cases. But as you've seen today with how Odoo interacts with AI and AI interacts with Odoo, it makes it so much easier not only to take advantage of the capabilities of AI, but really using it for what's specific to your business. How are you handling, certain operations and taking advantage of AI? If you just copy and paste it into a generic AI tool, you're going to get a good response. But if you have all the data points that Odoo is providing, it's limitless.
Oh yes, yes, exactly. So I mean the AI is as strong as the data you feed it.
Hmm.
So having the already built out tool and framework of Odoo and then letting it loose with AI, is just incredible for the amount of time it's already saved us
Yeah,
internally. But I'm sure with the evolution of the software and the evolution of AI, it's going to be even more. That 10 times might be even 100 in a few years. Who knows?
exactly. Yeah, and I mean, again, right, with the reasonable price of Odoo, making it easy for small or medium-sized and even enterprise-level companies take advantage of the tool, we're providing, some real strength to all of the different clients that use Odoo.
Exactly. Yes.
The future is Odoo.
Yes. Yeah. It's that's simple.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope it was really helpful. We have a little bit of time for some questions. I believe we have somebody in the chat helping us out with that. So feel free to enter in the chat any AI questions you have. Hmm. Did we miss anything? Anything cool about AI that we could talk about? I
Um.
guess, this actually leads us to what we've recently kind of discussed is this is all AI on the front end, kind of, to a certain extent, some back end workflows, but we've recently been looking into taking advantage of AI through our Odoo platform, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. So those fields are included with just pretty much everything. So you can use it right away. But we're looking to integrate it deeper every single revision of Odoo that we have. So yeah, that's definitely something that
Hmm.
we're working on with SH. And I think we have more coming shortly
We have
about
more
that as
coming
well.
in terms of more back end focused webinars with AI. So again, yeah, the future is Odoo.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think that was everything. I think that's it. Do you
Yeah.
have anything?
No, I think I'm good. So yeah, again, thank you everybody for joining us today, and we'll see you next time for another AI webinar.
It was great seeing you all.
Thank you.
Bye.